Midnight will be the single biggest economic event for the Cardano ecosystem in its history. It's going to airdrop to more than 100 million people and build bridges with all the major networks and bring people together.
With the highly anticipated release of Cardano's partner chain framework and the launch of Midnight as well as Quantum Hosky, we're expecting two major airdrops. Now, both of them will be using the Glacier drop feature mentioned by Charles Hoskinson. And as a part of today's video, I want to break down exactly all that we currently know about the upcoming airdrop for Midnight and Quantum Hosky. What's up, Ada Gang? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. As I've just laid the foundation down there, the Glacier drop is a hot topic. As a part of today's video, we're talking about that, Quantum Hosky and Midnight, and exactly how you within the Cardano community, or if you're coming in from outside, can take advantage and join in on some of that fun. If you appreciate it, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. It really does make a difference. Number two, if it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing to the channel. Number three, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down below. Now, I'm also a stake pool operator within the Cardano community, contributing to two Dapp Central stake pools, both sharing the ticker DAPP. So without any further ado, let's dive right on in here. First things first, if it's your first time hearing about Midnight, it's essentially a data protection blockchain aiming to safeguard your information while you're still able to take advantage of the public ledger or Web3 technology. Now, some of the key features here include the fact that it's easy to build on. Of course, it provides data and metadata protection. It's going to be regulatory compliant out of the box. It'll give you access to Web3, things like DEXs, DeFi, etc. And then on top of that, it's going to be focusing on security and integrity using ZK snarks or proofs. Last but not least, it aims to be scalable for enterprise adoption. Now, I'm not going to harp on this too much. I've released plenty of content surrounding Midnight. I'll leave that down below. But the next thing I want to break down here is the fact that there's going to be two tokens, one shielded, one unshielded, which will all be contributing to the Midnight operation. So first and foremost, we've got Night, stating it's an unshielded token for governance, consensus participation, and block production rewards. Now, if you've missed it, we've already confirmed the fact that Cardano SPOs will be able to basically be the backbone of the early contributors who are providing block validation services for the partner chain framework or for the Midnight network. And so it sounds like they'll be rewarded in Night, given the fact that it mentions that that'll be distributed for block rewards or for block reward production. Now, right below that, we've got the second token for the dual token model, which is Dust. And that's a capacity access shielded resource that operates the chain activity. So think of this, for example, as ADA on Cardano, where you need ADA in your wallet in order to be able to send any other Cardano native asset. Now, we're going to hear actually from Charles here in just a moment. But before we do, I also want to quickly highlight the fact that Night will exist on Cardano as a Cardano native asset. Dust only exists on Midnight or on the Midnight network, while Night will exist as a Cardano native asset. Again, that's going to be what's going to be going out for distribution for block rewards. Now, the next thing we have to talk about is the actual Glacier drop itself. Now, if it's your first time hearing about the Glacier drop, it's a brand new innovative token distribution model aimed or focusing on fairness. In the clip of Charles that I'm going to play here in just a moment, you're going to hear him talk about the fact that VCs typically get early or insider access and typically dump tokens on the community. So in order to sort of get away from that usual habit, the team has put together what they call a Glacier drop, meaning that the majority of the community will be able to participate. However, you're going to have to actually work for your airdrop or for your reward. So it's not going to be something that you just, get for existing. While everybody will have an opportunity to dive in, you will have to provide some benefit or some sort of feedback to the actual network in order to claim your airdrop or your airdrop allocation. Now, it basically breaks down the fact that this aims to eliminate the advantages of most insiders, and that this participates or includes, I should say, the majority of retail, and that moving forward, it's not just going to be an airdrop that impacts Cardano, it's also going to impact Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and a few other ecosystems as well, which I'm going to break down here in just a minute. So as we can see here, anybody that wants to jump in and wants to earn some of these tokens, which there's one little piece that I want to raise here. It mentions the Dust token. In my opinion, I think that this should be the Night token. However, I could be wrong. Again, there's a lot of additional information about how Night and Dust interact with one another. But I know Charles has definitely mentioned himself, right, that the airdrop will be in Dust. But if it's in Dust, which is not transferable and it's only available on the Midnight network, that then means that Night, right, may not necessarily get as much adoption. However, for anybody who is on Cardano, who maybe delegates to a Cardano stake pool operator that is a node operator for Midnight, they'll be getting the Night token as a reward, whereas the airdrop will mainly be focusing on dust. Now, it breaks down here the fact that ADA holders will be eligible, for the airdrop. Bitcoin holders, ETH holders, Solana, and BNB chains as well. Looking across here, Charles is going to mention in this upcoming clip the fact that there's over 130 plus million wallets that'll be eligible. Now, if you just do a little bit of the math here, we've got Bitcoin with 40 million wallets, ETH with 45 million wallets. And as you go down the line and you just continuously add those numbers up, you end up with 135 million wallets. So this could potentially be a lot of the ecosystems that will be included in the upcoming Midnight or the Quantum Hosky Glacier drop. Now we finally got to the portion here where we're going to listen to Charles. And so I'm going to quickly just place, it's about 3 minutes, but he breaks down the different avenues and the different features of the Glacier drop and exactly what we know as of right now for the upcoming Midnight and Quantum Hosky airdrops.
Midnight will be the single biggest economic event for the Cardano ecosystem in its history. It's going to airdrop to more than 100 million people and build bridges with all the major networks and bring people together by the nature of Minotaur, the consensus protocol on the Midnight horizon. One of the magical properties of Midnight, above and beyond the Glacier drop, is that Midnight is like all of you, the builders, it's an asset issued on Cardano. Not ADA, but an asset on Cardano, which means we now have the same lived experience that all of you who have issued an asset on Cardano have. The same experience with exchanges, the same experience with custodians, the same experience with wallet support. And we're going to have to spend next year more than $20 million getting necessary integrations with dozens of different custodians, wallets, and platforms. Is Midnight going to be airdropped to ADA holders? Yes, there will be a Glacier drop. That's the distribution mechanism of Midnight. So you're eligible and then have to mine to produce it. And Cardano will be the largest distribution.
It'll be announced soon, and I think people will be very happy about it. I can't say much more than that, but I will say that Cardano is going to be very happy. I think all things considered. With all things, you can't make everybody happy, but the way it's designed is it's going to create a lot of customer acquisition of people that aren't in the Cardano ecosystem that could bring them to the Cardano ecosystem. And people within the Cardano ecosystem, there's a lot for them there. And there's many layers of incentives that exist. And I think it's the most novel way of doing a token distribution ever. No one has to pay anything to get a Dust token. There's no ICO or anything like that. It's a very novel new way of doing something. It's called a Glacier drop, and we kind of invented it for this very reason. But I don't want to spoil it. And there's a lot of hard work going on behind the scenes. And Cardano smart contract being written, all kinds of stuff. And I think people will be very happy about it. And if it works, I believe it will be the dominant way of distributing tokens for partner chains. And it potentially has a chance to bring millions to tens of millions of people into the Cardano ecosystem.
Ordinarily, I've been in space so long, I kind of know all the dirty tricks. What you do is you go to a VC, they give you a bunch of money, they get founder tokens, and then they dump on retail and the network launches. You know who you are. You do. And they make great money. And then the ecosystem collapses, and the next thing goes, the next thing goes, the next thing goes. That's not how we get ahead. So instead, here's what we do. Do something called a Glacier drop. So you take 135 million accounts across all the major cryptocurrencies, you just airdrop to them. And if people want it, they mine it. In the process of mining it, they launch the network. So that's how you get a fair distribution, right? Everybody gets it. Everybody has it.
A lot of people think about, tokens as some sort of a game or a play where the investors or the insiders get the inside track. That's not going to be the case here. Midnight is all about the community. Our token distribution will include 100% of the supply will be given out to the community and have an opportunity for them to come and participate. So we look forward to seeing the community step up and take part and become part of the story.
So there you have it, Charles confirming the 130 million plus wallets, the fact that anybody will be able to dive in and actually mine in order to earn their rewards, and the fact that this will be sort of a new innovative way to keep VCs out, but to bring in retail and to really jumpstart a brand new partner chain network. Now, if we take a look here at a diagram that was released as a part of the Midnight Light paper a while back, again, I broke that down in a separate video. There was an illustration or diagram breaking down how proofs could be verified. And so at the very bottom here, and I know that this is extremely technical, but if you just focus at the very bottom here, we've got the proof server, which can be a laptop, a desktop, or a server. And so having said that, imagine a world or scenario where in order for you to be able to actually unlock your dust or your night, depending on which token is the one that's used for the airdrop, you actually have to install some sort of lightweight node or some sort of lightweight client or software that actually connects, right, to other nodes or to the core Midnight partner chain framework, and then allows for your hardware to actually verify transactions. And as you verify transactions, you're able to then unlock your allocation of the Midnight or the Quantum Hosky airdrop. Now, there's also another piece of speculation coming in here from Jeff Weiss, who basically mentions the fact that Glacier drop is referring to a glacier as it's melting, where it's sort of dripping a little bit at a time, and the fact that you won't unlock the entire airdrop initially. However, as you contribute in his particular bit of speculation, he's talking about where people stake to stake pool operators that are contributing, right, as operators to validate blocks being produced on the Midnight network, that will be how they're able to unlock their dust or night airdrop. Again, I think there's a little bit of confusion as to which token will be officially used for the airdrop. If you know, please leave a comment down below. I'm happy to definitely take a look here. I've been doing a lot of research, and this is what I've sort of landed on. There doesn't seem to be any sort of consistency just yet. But again, a lot of this is speculation, and of course, trying to do the best that we can here, as we haven't gotten all of the official information about this release just yet. So as we get ready to close things out, I do want to highlight the fact that right now, you can go ahead and join the Midnight testnet as a node operator if you're a Cardano SPO or Cardano stake pool operator. So I'll be working to get both of the Dapp Central stake pools set up and running as Midnight nodes in order to basically jumpstart this ecosystem, and also to be able to reward any delegators that are delegating here to the Dapp Central stake pools with the Night token as they stake with a node operator. So keep that in mind. A couple of things that you'll need here is, of course, an existing stake pool on the preview testnet. You also need some additional software dependencies, for example, like Cardano DB Sync, Postgres for databases, and a few other things. And then once you've got that, you can download a piece of software, basically, which is the Midnight node. And once you've got all those three pieces connected and intercommunicating together, you're able to basically be validated or become a validator for the Midnight network. Having said all of that, that brings us to the end here. There's a diagram, again, breaking down the Cardano stake pool operation, the partner chain services, and how all of that feeds into the Midnight network node, which again allows for you to verify blocks being produced on that particular network. As I mentioned before, the Dapp Central stake pool will definitely be aiming to provide the node services on the mainnet, therefore rewarding all of the delegators to the stake pool right now with the Night token as we validate blocks over there, very similar to how we validate blocks on Cardano. And Cardano staking rewards go out every 5 days or every epoch. So that'll bring us to the end here for today's video. Again, breaking down all that we currently know as it pertains to the Glacier drop system, what Midnight is aiming to bring, and exactly how this benefits not just Cardano and the SPOs here, but also members who are outside that are looking for a way to basically join in on any fair launch moving forward. So again, this particular feature may not necessarily only be used for Quantum Hosky and Midnight. It could potentially be used for any new partner chain that launches using that particular framework. That'll bring us to the end here for today's video. As always, if you enjoyed content just like this, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. If it's your first time stopping by and you want more, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave those down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers, everybody. Take care.